As we take a look at the starting grid, it's Elias Seppänen who starts on pole position, the Ferrari of Alan Valente alongside him at the front of the grid. On row 2, Max Osten in the BMW with Salman Ovega, yesterday's second place finisher, alongside him. Pierre Caffer sitting in for Tim Zimmerman, who's not feeling 100%, get well soon, with Simon Connor Prim alongside him. Dennis Bulatov and Michael Kapfinger line up on row 4 of the grid. On row 5, Dennis Fetzer, he was very quick yesterday, and he's in the pole in the Pro-Ams for this race with Nico Hanska, another Pro-Am driver for company. And on row 6, Yanis Fitcher, yesterday's winner, has Loris Cabarrou for company. Looked like a pole position for Loris in qualifying this morning, but he had a lap disallowed for track limits. Juliana Holzem, Eduardo Kozatang, they occupy row 7 of the grid. And on row 8, Ernst Kirschmeier in the Ferrari alongside Kwanda Mokoena. That's the car that started on pole position yesterday. On row 9, Pablo Schum and Alexander Schwarzer, both of them in the Pro-Am category. And 2 more Pro-Ams at the back. Florian Blatter and Hermann Speck, both drivers are guesting this weekend. We keep our eyes on those 5 red lights. They are on at the moment, and we are waiting for them to go off. And we are go for race 10 of the season. A great start from Elias Seppänen up towards turn 1. The car's fanning out behind. That's Dennis Bulatov going very wide in the Aston Martin, but they all make it around turn 1. Now, down towards turn 2, absolutely flat out up the steep hill they come towards turn 3. Elias Seppänen with a great launch from his pole position, but being challenged by Alan Valente on the outside into turn 3. Valente has a little look, but just leaves himself vulnerable to Max Osten. Valente will be aware that Seppänen cannot afford a DNF, so he is able to take the risk. Keep an eye on Salman Ovega as well in 4th place, running alongside Max Osten. 2 drag races into turn 4. Seppänen on top at the moment. Max Osten holding on to that 3rd place, but a lot of challenges of the number 19 car of Loris. Right, let's have another look here, and it was contact from Eduardo Kozatang that saw the number 3 car turned around. So the race stewards will probably want to take a little look at that. It was into turn 3, up the steep hill, just on the exit of turn 3. And I have to say, Yanis Fitcher did well to not be collected by any of the other cars. He spins it around as quickly as possible. That's another angle there. Be quite happy if we stopped looking at that now, wouldn't he? And Eduardo Kozatang will no doubt be under investigation. Yes, he is.
Osten and Kohler on 174, 29 behind. And as it stands, Schumacher and Ovega, 138 points. There'll be 65 behind, but there's only 56 left on the cards. As we see Yanis Fitcher trying to recover himself back up the order, gets 1 place back on the Porsche on the way into turn 1, but he's out of the points at the moment, out of the top 15.
Oh, that's
a replay of the Liqui Moly Audi having a big old spin there, the number 8 machine of Jonas Karpis and
Pablo
19s now
at the wheel of that, the team that's run by Luca Engsler and his father Franz Engsler, and he's been exploring the outer limits of Spielberg already on that corner, and that rotation will have done him any favors at all, taking rather conveniently the marker bollards out as he goes, but he's managed to be avoided by anybody else. But I should think there'll be some nice big flat spots on those tires on that Audi. Still, Elias Seppänen leads the way from Alan Valente. It was 0.4 of a second last time across the line. There is the championship leader in the Pro-Am category, not having a great day, Alexander Schwarzer.
The Porsche had a moment at turn 6. Yes, it did, on the way into the corner, just understeered, ran wide through the gravel trap, kept crucially the momentum going on the Porsche. There was a little strip of escape road on the exit on the furthest part of the gravel trap. He never quite got that far, but he was way into the gravel trap. Just looked like he missed the braking point and understeered before he really got to the corner. So as a result of that, Schwarzer drops down to 19th place.
He's got problems, along with Taylor Hagler. Had a mixed day yesterday, but came home in 8th place. But into the pits, looks like it might be the end of the day for the number 19 GRT Grasser Racing Lamborghini. So, making a move past Dennis Fetzer, the aforementioned Dennis Fetzer. GT3 Racing very well this weekend. He has looked incredibly dialed in as Pablo Schum has another go at the bottom.
Just to clarify, when Brian says we were staggering around the circuit, we were trying to do a track run. We definitely weren't drunk.
Yes.
Just to clarify, we were being professional. Oh, look at this, a move up the inside on the way into turn 4. Beautifully done that by Holzem. That's ahead of Bolotov's Aston Martin and into 8th place now. That was the perfect move because he got the run down in the inside. As you say, the Pro-Ams with a chance to come through. Pablo Schum with a chance to try and retaliate on the Porsche there of Alex Schwarzer, which has got past him now and into 16th place overall.
A massive hurry. They've got 70 seconds, get it right, 70 seconds for pit entry to pit exit, so time to get out. The seat insert, because the drivers are of a different build, so the seat insert is replaced. There is David Schumacher getting into the seat of that Mercedes. He impressed so much in the Prototype Cup Germany a few weeks back at the Nürburgring. He and his dad, Ralf Schumacher. What a formidable combination. Hey, Ralf, fancy coming and joining us full-time in the ADAC? We'd love to have you back. Right, here we come. Lots of cars coming in now. So there is Ernst Kirschmeyer handing over to Fabrizio Crestani in the Ferrari. Great to have them guesting here. Racing One, legendary team, bringing the Ferrari 296 GT3 to the grid of GT Masters. Of course, Emil Frey with the other one. But Ernst Kirschmeyer, a bronze-rated driver, now helping his teammate, the silver-rated Fabrizio Crestani. I have to tell you, he has been very rapid. Also in Alexander Schwarzer, handing over to Alex Facker, former winner in Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup. Simon Vega has handed over to David Schumacher. His stop is done. To the pit exit they go, and he rejoins the track.
Yeah, it cost you more than a lap time with the pit stop here, the minimum pit stop time. So the leader's just going out of turn 1 as coming out.
And there is problems there. Is that problems? There's a lot of smoke. Maybe it's just brake smoke. It looks like an awful lot of it. As Quando Mocoeno jumps out of the Mercedes. Max Rice, the car is on fire. You can see the flames under the wing.
Has come in. Dennis Bolotov has come in the Aston Martin as well. So 2 of the top 8 drivers. Mikael will hand over to his brother Johannes Kapfinger. He gets in now as well. Shouldn't be any issues in terms of changing the seat size for those two, should there, the twins. So for now, that will put Simon Conor-Prim in the Lamborghini, number 33 up to 4th. Pierre Caffa, number 63's Lamborghini up to 5th place. And Dennis Fetzer, the leading Pro-Am driver, number 79 in the Mercedes, will move up to 6th place. The gap continues to grow, meanwhile, between the top 2. Zeppelin, 1.4, nearly 1.5 seconds clear now of Valente. And over 5 seconds back on them, the BMW of Max Osten. It looks like he's struggling to live with the pace of the top 3rd best today for Osten. And that means, as it stands, 29 points adrift with only 56 available at Hockenheim. It'll put Zeppelin and Callender very much in the driving seat.
I'll tell you what, Dennis Fetzer and co-pilot Hubert Haupt are going to throw a very large moggy amongst the pigeons because he's in 6th place at the moment, but he's only 12.7 back from the race leader. And to remind you, his pit stop is 15 seconds shorter than the cars around him. So if the gap remains as it is, Hubert Haupt, who is a very useful indeed, he's obviously a very, very good team owner, but a very useful driver as well, could bring that car somewhere to a very challenging position for the silver drivers around them. Well, we'll find out in a bit. Seppänen is yet to pit. Valente is still to pit, but he's got the Porsche, the Team U Sportwagen Technique Porsche with Johannes Kapfinger at the wheel, getting under his feet as far as he's concerned. He shuffles him out of the way, sets out apart after the leader once again.
Kapfinger has come out, though, in front of the Mercedes of David Schumacher, hasn't he? And Schumacher was running 4th, or at least his car was running 4th before the pit stop. And the Porsche of Kapfinger, the Kapfinger twins, was behind. So Schumacher, while Kapfinger gets his tyres up to temperature, will want to go on the attack. So team boss Hubert Haupt getting in. A stalwart of Nürburgring 24-hour races, the boss of the HRT team. Oh, now some more bad luck from Max Rice. There he is, getting out of the car ASAP. And that just about sums up some of the luck that Max and Mocoeno have had this year.
Yes, such talented drivers, and you just they need to catch a break. And Max Rice, we know how good he is, and we know how good Quando Mocoeno is, and they'll be so frustrated about that. The team that do so much have an enormous fan club that arrive literally by the coach load. Check out the MR28 app, download it. You can get all the results and the news on Max Rice, although he'll probably not want to be sharing too much news from this weekend. Jean-Luc D'Auria, so the Pro-Am driver driver who has taken over from Dennis Fetzer. Certainly the advantage of the pit stop now starting to pay off. There is Chandler Hull as well in the mix in 5th place. But David Schumacher, out of my way, I'm coming through. But now Jean-Luc D'Oria to the inside of Hubert Haupt. Haupt's not really putting up too much of a fight. Or is he? Yes, he is. What do I know? Out towards turn 2. It is a drag race. So Hubert Haupt in the Pro-Am alongside Jean-Luc D'Oria. Ferrari versus Mercedes. Absolutely neck and neck. D'Oria's going to have the line into turn 3. Finally, Jonas Greif and Benjamin Heites, who's taken over from Pierre Caffer. Jonas Greif, who's taken over from Simon Conner-Primus. A big scrap going on for those positions, 10th and 11th. But look who's coming through. Finn Wiebelhaus, taken over from Janis Fischer, up almost into the top 11 now, under braking into turn 4. He's got the line into the corner. The Lamborghini has a slightly faster route around, but it's Wiebelhaus who has that position. As we look down again at turn 6, great stuff. Finn Wiebelhaus and Janis Fischer, they're on rails this afternoon.
Yeah, another one to watch is in the background, Alex Fack in the Porsche. Here we go, he sends one up the inside, gets down the inside of the Jonas Greif Lamborghini.
Chandler Hull second in the Pro-Ams, and Crestani, Fabrizio Crestani in that 3rd.
On board with David Schumacher, he's got his foot in the door at last. He dives down the inside on the way into turn 4, and he swoops past Johannes Kapfinger. So Schumacher back up now into 5th place.
Look again at that move. David Schumacher to the inside of Kapfinger, and just taking it with relative ease. I think Kapfinger not putting up too much of a fight and allowing the Mercedes through. He shuts the door in his face and continues. So David Schumacher up to that 5th place. He is some 2.9 seconds back from Leon Köhler. Tucked up behind the Mercedes now, along past the pits, in towards turn 1, pulling alongside. You can see just the difference in the drag race. He has a little look to the side, make sure he's clear, and then braking into the right-hand turn 1. Out towards turn 2 now. He's in dust rising up into the air. But yeah, don't take out the team boss, and Hubert Haupt knows exactly what the score is here. So Schumacher sailing through into that 4th place without too much of a trauma, I think, and Hubert Haupt
still outside of the window and still too far back to be a championship contender. Next up, look at that Crestani firing it around the outside, coming out of turn 4, and at turn 5 he makes the move stick, and then Alex Fack, I think, is going to go down the inside of Chandler Hall on the way into the left-hander at turn 6. The Porsche squeezes past the Aston Martin as well. Sandro Holsom to close up, so Holsom there in 7th place after a good stint from Giuliano, his twin. The best result this season, 6th place.
Oh, massive
crash, around and around and around and around goes Hubert Haupt. This time there is contact between the Porsche and the Mercedes, and that is an absolutely massive crash up at turn 3. The red flag comes out, Brian.
Yes, I think there's probably damage to the barrier, and certainly we just want to make sure that Hubert Haupt is all okay. A very big accident up at turn 3, so the race is brought to a stop with 6.5 minutes remaining. There will be no restart, so we can declare that Elias Seppänen and Tom Callender are the race winners ahead of Jean-Luc D'Oria and Alain Valente. Leon Köhler and Max Osten in that 3rd place. Well, we're going to have a look here now to see what happened. He moved to the inside, to the outside. He went up the back of him, didn't he? And he may say that Hubert Haupt had lifted off, 4, 5 bits of bodywork and debris flying up into the air. Max Osten and Leon Köhler will be scheming to see what they can do in the final round of this championship at the Hockenheim Ring. The Golden Bulls are awarded to Seppänen and Callender. Oliver Zeidler, the Olympic gold medal winner in rowing, he was giving out start your engine instructions at DTM earlier. We look on under the blue skies here in the Styrian Mountains as we conclude round 5 of the ADAC GT Masters. The Kapfingers were in 6th place. The Holsums, twins together, 6th and 7th. Mike David Ortman, Dennis Bulatov rounding off what has been a challenging weekend for them in the Vulcan Horse Motorsport Aston Martin in 8th place. Benjamin Heites and Pierre Caffer in 9th.
Stayed fully concentrated and held on to that lead that Elias Seppänen and the team had given him. So there you see the German driver and the man from Helsinki, Elias Seppänen.